Sonic X Episode 16. We start out with the president saying he wants to know if Eggman survived and have him tracked down. And he's told people are searching the area of the egg carrier crash site. But still, there's no reason anyone in the universe should be assuming Eggman survived that crash into the ocean. We see that of course he did. And he tells the robots to be quiet because there's a search team above them looking for them. I have a question. Why didn't the military just send missiles to blow up the egg carrier just in case? Like what happened in the real world? I think endangering the sea life would be a very poor excuse to not get rid of an evil monster. Who cares if there's debris? Chuck gives the Sonic characters passports, and Amy needs to be told what passports are. I refuse to believe Mobius doesn't have those. And Tails is given pilot licenses to let him pilot anything he wants, even though he didn't take any training at all to actually earn them. Chris's family sure is powerful. Amy thinks she looks terrible on her passport picture, as she lampshades that she looks like a lunatic when she has her hammer up. It's at least self-awareness for her, but all this does is showcase how badly Amy works as a comedy character. Does this mean there will be a subplot where Amy tries to get an actually good picture of herself? I have to wonder where they got that picture of her holding a hammer in the first place. You know, her being used as a comedy character, Antoine was also entirely a comedy character in Sad AM, and it was partially based on how incompetent he was. How are most of Sonic's friends in the show not as incompetent as Antoine is? Though granted, they don't screw up missions outright. It's hard to say whether Antoine is worse than her at this point. Nah, she's better. At least she's not an outright stereotype. But she is a Japanese archetype cliché, but not a French stereotype. At least her voice isn't horribly annoying every time she speaks. Sonic's glad to get a passport to travel wherever he wants in the planet, and Amy and Cream go into a plane and take off, with Sonic dangerously sitting on top of the plane, which somehow won't make him slide off to his death at some point. They're on their way to the Sapphire Sea, and Amy wants to go swimming and water skiing. At least the show tries to make her more of a deep character, but it's all lost in the sea of her being a fangirl psychopath, worse than anything any other continuity had. The plane then starts falling because it's magnetically attracted to a Chaos Emerald nearby. You know, it didn't do that in the Giant Fan episode. And Tails safely lands them off screen. Of course, Sonic attracts people's attention, and a bunch of people try to get his autograph, with Sonic running at the same speed as his friends for some weird reason when he could easily pick them up and take them far away one by one, like even Archie Sonic did when running from the Iron King and his army. Chris then lampshades to Sonic that he thought he'd be looking for the emerald, not taking it easy. After we see Amy swimming in a bathing suit with a change of clothes for once, Sonic is given an air hose and he jumps underwater. Of course, something predictably goes wrong as the air hose gets pulled underwater and a crab meat cuts his air hose. Good thing for Eggman that he decided to put that there, just in case. And Sonic somehow rises out of the water because he can swim apparently. Then he's given a giant diving bell as a pathetic attempt at a joke to pad things out, though it does actually seem to work since Sonic is carrying air with him. Then he gets stuck, and he goes back to Chris. All the while I was wondering why scuba gear wasn't the first idea. That was forced comedy. And Chris is told that the government told the shopkeepers that it'll cover all of Chris's bills as part of the Sonic budget. That sounds very irresponsible of the government. It's a miracle Chris is responsible enough not to abuse that and buy whatever he wants. In Sonic F, the realistic thing happened, and Amy immediately started taking advantage of it to buy a bunch of clothes. In a meta sense, it sounds like a brilliant genre-savvy thing of the government to do, but logically, not so much. He sees a pirate ship and is told it sunk. Gee, I wonder if they'll find it underwater. Seriously, why is the normally hydrophobic Sonic being used in a plot where he'll be diving underwater? Do we have to have Sonic do everything? This would be the perfect opportunity to give his friends the spotlight. But of course, Sonic X is so insistent on having him be the main character by making the other characters incompetent, which at least Boom doesn't do, where all the characters seem to have equal status. His friends aren't nearly as competent as Bunny the Cyborg or Nicole the Do Anything Computer. I can't imagine Amy and Tails would be good at fighting compared to him, even if Amy has a hammer. But still, Amy is able to swim, and Sonic isn't. You'd think this would be an episode where she was the main character. Tails can make anything he wants. He should be able to just make her a ray gun that could beat any robot. And the robots are naturally mad that Sonic has a holiday when they never get a day off. I like that they're relatable in that sense. They do work harder than he does. They even look like they do. The heroes all see the underwater ship, of course, and Eggman sunbathes on top of his boat. Then, because of forced comedy, Bokoon is written to play the self-destructing message in front of Eggman, and Eggman doesn't immediately take off before it could blow up or throw it away, and somehow Eggman's just harmlessly covered in soot. Logically, this should have been what took Eggman out. Why would he make a robot that intentionally has bombs so weak? Amy says they could make a lot of jewelry with all the gold they're seeing in the ship. And a crab meat has the Chaos Emerald. Why the hell isn't Sonic instantly spin dashing through the crab meat? Sure, it was nice of it to throw it away by itself and betray Eggman. That was convoluted compared to Sonic defeating it. This is an action series, isn't it? Shouldn't he just fight for it? Then the heroes get threatened by a jellyfish robot that sends tentacles straight into the ground, and Sonic says he can't move fast underwater. It sends missiles out of it, and Sonic's friends all climb back into the canoe, and then Tanaka sends a bigger boat after them to help them, being the Chekhov's gunman on Chuck's orders. I like that in Sonic F, it's actually explained how Tanaka knew exactly where Chris was. His parents had a microchip from birth. Sonic gets sent flying out of the ocean, as I wonder why a jellyfish robot didn't just instantly kill Sonic by electrocuting the water, and instead has done everything but do that. It sure was nice of it to grab Sonic and hold him above the water. Sam Speed shows up and gives Sonic a water skiing thing to hold on to. At least he was useful for once. I'll appreciate any time the boring human characters that don't need to exist are actually useful, because then that justifies their existence and impresses me. But shouldn't the main Sonic characters help out too? Instead, all Tails does is throw Sonic a ring. Tails throws him a ring, and the jellyfish robot is blown up in one attack. You know, the hero's only getting one hit in, and that one hit ends the action scene, doesn't strike me as the proper way to write an action scene. I'm pretty sure the ideal way to write action scenes is that the heroes get a lot more hits in than that. And it's not like this is how all anime is, and that's just the standard, because, well, I've never watched Dragon Ball Z, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have action scenes like that. Chris then tells Amy that the diving shop owner was the grandson of the captain of Sunken Ship. Alright, I actually forgot at first that this whole thing won the heroes an emerald, because the way they got it was so anticlimactic. A crabmeat just gave it to them without a fight. Logic would dictate that you have the hero earn his victory. The Chaos Emerald should have been inside the jellyfish robot and come out of it. But I guess they were so proud of the fact that the way they got the emerald was a twist that they thought it was just so brilliant. This episode was about Sonic and friends getting a Chaos Emerald near an underwater sunken ship because a crabmeat generously threw it to Amy without even looking scared to justify betraying Eggman inexplicably. And Sonic struggles against a jellyfish robot that apparently does everything but try to electrocute him, and even holds him above the water, until finally he destroys the idiotic robot in one hit. Somehow that doesn't strike me as well-crafted writing. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't alright with watching the episode for the first time, and it's certainly not a bad episode since I wasn't angry at it. It just baffled me at points. It took forever to get to the actually important part where Sonic, of all people, was sent to die for an emerald. Why can't someone other than Sonic use the rings to power up? That's the stupidest lore thing ever. It'd be cool if Amy could do it too and smash a giant robot with a bunch of hits from her hammer in more than just one episode. Having her have only one badass scene just makes it feel like cheap fan service only happening out of obligation to help to reassure us, since every other time she appears she's useless. Same goes for Knuckles. Why give him only one scene where he beats a giant robot by himself? Why even have the characters around at all then, if all they do is have lines that waste our time? They don't seem that much more useful than the human characters. Sure, it's a good thing that Tails has a plane and is the ring thrower,